This next word in British English, we call this an apple. What do you call it in American English?
I think we call it an apple.
Yeah, I know. I just put it in there for fun.
You ready to start?
Yeah, let me just switch on the audio. Bob's your uncle. Let's get started.
What?
Bob's your uncle. Don't you know Bob's your uncle?
No, what does this mean?
It means, and there you have it. You say it when you just do something. There you have it. Let's get started.
Awesome. Wow, I didn't know that. I'm not an American, but I've lived here for over 6 years, and I've put some effort into actually learning the American way. Let's talk about something that's super confusing for Americans. Let's talk about a rubber.
Oh no. So when I was at school, if I made a mistake, I would put my hand up and ask the teacher for a rubber, and they would give me one.
Yeah, the thing is, in British English, a rubber is an eraser. In American English, rubber is a condom.
Don't ask for an eraser in the UK when you actually need a condom.
Let's talk about public schools, because public schools in the US are the ones funded by the government. And if you want to get into a good public school, you need to rent or buy a house in a good neighborhood. And this is what a lot of people care about here. What about the UK?
Yeah, it's the opposite in the UK, and it's really confusing. I remember being confused by this as a child. In the UK, a public school is a private school. So you go to a state school, which is funded by the government, or you go to a public or independent or private school if your parents or guardians pay for it.
Wow, interesting. That's so confusing. Another confusing word is chips. In the US, chips are potato chips like Lay's and Pringles.
Oh, okay. So we use potato chips like Lay's and Pringles. We call them crisps. Chips, on the other hand, for us, are what Americans would call French fries. They're hot, deep-fried potatoes. Okay, Marina, I'm going to show you some pictures. I'm going to say how we say it in British English, and then I want you to say how you would say it in American English. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, first one. For me, this is an aubergine.
Oh, for us, it's an eggplant.
Eggplant? That's so weird. Do you know why that is?
Well, I think it's just, again, logic. It looks like a big purple egg, so it's an eggplant.
Do you know, I actually read an article, because I was so confused about this one day, that it's because the bud of the flower looks like an egg when it grows. Okay, what about this next one? For me, it's a torch.
Flashlight. But again, for me, American English, there's so much logic here, like, because you're flashing with this light and you're sending signals, so it's a flashlight.
Okay, what about this next one? In the supermarkets in the UK, we would say trolley.
That's a cart.
That's interesting because when we do online shopping, we add things to our cart. We don't add things to our trolley. Oh, I will also add, sometimes you will see add to shopping bag. Would you ever see that?
No, add to shopping. Well, maybe, but normally it's a cart, yeah.
So this next one, what would you call hair that goes across your forehead like this? In British English, we would call it fringe, a fringe.
Yeah, in American, it's bangs, but I also think people understand fringe because I would say both.
Yeah, I think fringe, it kind of makes sense that it's like fringing above your face. I wonder where bangs came from.
Yeah, it's interesting.
This next word in British English, we call this an apple. An apple. What do you call it in American English?
I think we call it an apple.
Yeah, I know. I just put it in there for fun. Next one. What would you call this in American English? In British English, it is clearly a biscuit.
No brainer, a cookie.
A cookie. Yeah, see, we would also recognize the word cookie. For us, a cookie is specifically a biscuit with chocolate chips in it. Chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because, well, this is the most famous cookie. Well, everybody has chocolate chip cookies here.
Okay, what about one of my favorite seasons, although I like all four? Autumn. What do you call it in American English?
Yeah, for me it's obvious, it's fall. Just because the leaves fall down and it makes a ton of sense.
So in British English, when we say that it feels like autumn, we say it feels autumnal. Do you have a word like that in American English?
Never heard of anything like that. But it sounds beautiful, I should say.
Yeah, we would say it feels very autumnal today, very autumnal.
It's beautiful.
Next one, the pedestrian area to the side of a street or a road. We call it the pavement. What do you call it in American English?
Sidewalk, because you walk on the side of the road.
Genius, genius. And finally, we have the word cooker. This is kind of a slang word for oven. We also have the word hob, which means the top of an oven. What do you use in American English?
Yeah, we just, like the regular word would be the oven. If you say stove, I would say it implies something fancier. Like, you know, in American homes, if you see a stove with red knobs, that means it's a fancy home. There's also this brand in the UK. I don't remember, like this very fancy kind of oven brand.
Aga, maybe?
Aga, yes, exactly.
An Aga is an oven that is normally on all the time, so it heats your house as well as cooks your food.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, this is, you know, you learn to be fancy. Or, this is actually a good word.
Yes, posh for us, posh. Fancy. That is true. I've never noticed that difference before, but yeah, you do use fancy. Okay, let's talk about the word rubbish. If I say something is total rubbish or absolute rubbish, what do you think I'm saying?
Like, I would say rubbish is like garbage. I would just say garbage. That's it.
It means garbage or trash. We would never use those words, really. If we use the word trash, it means that somebody isn't classy. But I think we've adopted that from America. If we say something's rubbish, it means that like an idea or thought isn't good, or something's not worth thinking about, or something's really terrible. We do use it a lot. You know, if someone's having a bad day, they've told me about their day, I'll say, oh, that's rubbish. I'm so sorry for you. That's really sad and annoying.
Interesting.
We would absolutely use it to say that something doesn't make sense. If someone tells me something, I don't believe it, I'll say, that's total rubbish. I don't believe you.
Yeah, in America, would say that's bullshit.
Yeah, we might use that as well.